Says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also, if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
Ever since Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez started being hailed as a Democrat's next big hope for 2028, Bill Maher has been sounding the alarm louder than ever. Just like he did back in 2024 when the DNC threw its full support behind Kamala Harris. And we all saw how that disaster played out. Now, Maher's back in full force, calling out the cracks in their latest political darling. He's practically pleading with the left not to blow another crucial election. So if you're ready for some straight shooting, no-fluff political commentary, smash that subscribe button, because things are about to heat up. Just a few weeks ago, we shared this explosive clip.
Think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job.
Just days after AOC's name began circulating as a possible replacement for Kamala Harris, the narrative took a sharp left turn. Rather than stepping up, AOC has been unraveling her own credibility with every baffling media appearance. From awkward economic claims to confusing policy tirades, she's raising more eyebrows than enthusiasm. If this is who the Democrats are betting on for 2028, they might want to seriously rethink their strategy. Because the more she talks, the more voters are asking the uncomfortable question, is this really the best they've got?
Really the best they've got?
Unemployment is low because everyone has two jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution. Yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition.
And this is exactly why voices like Bill Maher keep raising red flags about AOC. Beneath the fiery speeches, dramatic outrage, and non-stop social media theatrics, there's a real lack of depth. She confuses noise for leadership, mistaking aggression for influence and attention for achievement. There's no real vision, no thoughtful strategy, just a constant performance designed to go viral, not govern. Maher sees it clearly. If Democrats pin their 2028 hopes on AOC, they're not just setting themselves up for defeat. They're steering straight into political disaster.
An AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is. This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed. Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
This is exactly why voices like Bill Maher continue to sound the alarm on AOC. Behind the fiery sound bites, performative outrage, and constant stream of viral moments lies a troubling lack of real substance. She often mistakes volume for vision, and online applause for actual leadership. What's missing is depth, strategy, and a serious plan to govern. To Maher and many others, it's clear, if the Democrats make AOC the face of 2028, they're not just risking a loss, they're charging headfirst into a political train wreck.
You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
We'll dive into where Bill Maher is going with this in just a moment. But first, let's look at what is exposing. At the core, he sees a deep, almost reflexive disdain from AOC and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party toward America and its core values. Maher doesn't hold back. He takes aim at their performative outrage, obsession with identity politics, and the reflex to brand patriotism as prejudice. In their view, anything associated with Trump is automatically toxic, even if it's a policy that benefits the country. Tax relief for working families, racist, border enforcement, xenophobic, energy independence, climate denial. It doesn't matter how practical or beneficial the idea is. If it came from Trump, it's treated like a national crisis. And in classic Maher fashion, he calls this mindset what it is: ideological self-sabotage. The Democrats aren't just rejecting Trump. They're rejecting common sense. And in doing so, they risk alienating the very Americans who still believe in this country.
All the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America's just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy.
Sometimes I open Twitter, scroll for a minute, and immediately log off. The level of anti-American sentiment is just overwhelming. It's like a digital bonfire of outrage, mostly fueled by young liberals who seem to loathe the very country that gave them the freedom to speak out in the first place. They trash its history, mock its values, and treat the flag like a symbol of shame rather than pride. It's as if they've forgotten that America, for all its flaws, offers freedoms, opportunities, and a quality of life that billions around the world can only dream of. I've traveled. I've seen other countries. And trust me, most don't even come close to what we have here. Not in liberty, not in opportunity, and definitely not in prosperity. Yet these keyboard crusaders think it's bold or enlightened to insult their own country. It's not. It's naive, ungrateful, and honestly embarrassing.
Percent of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgments where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut the fuck up.
It's performative activism and shameless pandering from figures like AOC. Nearly everything she does feels like a well-rehearsed performance, not aimed at leadership, but at applause and social media clout. She sells herself as a fearless voice for the working class, but the reality paints a much different picture. We've come to learn her real name is Alexandria Ocasio, not quite the revolutionary persona she projects, and that she grew up in a comfortable, upper-middle-class suburb far from the gritty Bronx image she promotes. And that famous bartending story? Let's be honest, millions of students work service jobs. It's not a triumph over adversity tale. It's a normal part of young adult life. But AOC frames it as if she rose from the ashes, when in fact, she's been playing the role of an underdog while enjoying the privileges of a relatively easy upbringing. This isn't authenticity, it's branding. And more people are starting to see through the act.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
When you compare the freedoms women enjoy in America to those in many parts of the world, the difference is staggering. In the U.S., women can vote, own property, choose any career path, dress how they want, drive where they please, and live independently without being treated as second-class citizens. They can lead corporations, run for office, speak freely, and shape their own futures without asking permission from anyone. That kind of autonomy is still a fantasy in many regions where women are silenced, restricted, or oppressed by deeply rooted cultural and legal systems. And yet, figures like AOC push the narrative that America is hostile to women simply because it doesn't cater to every demand of radical gender ideology. Disagreeing with extreme policies isn't misogyny. Questioning overreach isn't oppression. The irony is hard to miss. They cry systemic hatred in a nation that provides more freedom, opportunity, and safety for women than almost anywhere else on the planet.
Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
Don't stop attacks on capitalism. The argument just doesn't hold up. Critics love to vilify the very system that built the most prosperous, innovative, and opportunity-rich nation in history. Sure, socialism and communism might sound appealing on paper, equality, shared wealth, no poverty, but in reality, they're economic dead ends. History is full of nations that embrace those ideologies, only to collapse under suffocating bureaucracy, lack of innovation, and the death of individual drive. Just look at Venezuela, Cuba, or the former Soviet Union, resource-rich countries turned into cautionary tales. People risk everything to escape those regimes and reach the United States. That alone should speak volumes. Capitalism, while not perfect, rewards effort, inspires innovation, and drives progress. America doesn't need to flirt with utopian fantasies. It needs to double down on systems that actually deliver results.
Something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through shit-colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable, privileged assholes we are? Immigrants.
Absolutely. Immigrants know better than anyone just how tough life can be outside of America. There's a reason millions are willing to risk everything, their lives, their safety, their freedom, just to reach our borders. They trek across deserts, face treacherous seas, and endure brutal hardships not for handouts, but for a chance at freedom, dignity, and opportunity. If America were truly the oppressive, broken nation that AOC and her ideological circle describe, why are people from every corner of the globe still fighting so hard to get in? The answer is simple. Because even with its imperfections, America is still a beacon of hope. Immigrants aren't flocking here for socialism or political theatrics. They are chasing the promise of the American dream. They understand what real oppression looks like, and they recognize freedom when they see it. That's what makes it so absurd when privileged politicians bash this